They're lining up. Here they come. They're often pacing in the American National Stake, and it's a good start. 5 horses going after the lead. On the inside, it's American Angel on the outside. Here is Ice Chaser. Ice Chaser now to the 4 as they race into the first turn, a length and a half. On the inside, Brilliant Mindale racing in second. Up on the outside, Crime Scene in third, a length and a half back to American Angel. Up on the rim, Armbro Parkway. Then comes Skateboard. Then a length back to I'm No Brat. And your trailer is Sweet and Deadly. Off the first quarter in 28 seconds. Now they straighten up as they race up the backstretch. And your leader is Ice Chaser by 2. Crime Scene racing in second. Here comes Armbro Parkway and Morgan. They're going after the lead. A gap of 3 to American Angel and Dave McGee. Then a length back to Brilliant Mindale. Skateboard, I'm No Brat, and Sweet and Deadly. They're battling on top. The 1 and 2 entry, 56 and 1. On the inside, it's Ice Chaser, and she now turns back Tony Morgan and Armbro Parkway. Ice Chaser commands by a length and a half. Armbro Parkway right there in the pocket. Crime Scene racing third. American Angel picks up the leaders. They turn for home in the American National. Your leader is Ice Chaser, now by 2. Armbro Parkway trying to get at her. A quarter of a mile to go. 3/4, 125 and 4. It's Ice Chaser, your leader with 3/16 to go. Armbro Parkway continues to bear down. Here comes Dave McGee and American Angel. Ice Chaser is under a drive. American Angel takes aim. It's Ice Chaser digging down. Here's American Angel. American Angel. Ice Chaser still there. Ice Chaser holding on by the narrowest of margins to win the American National. American Angel second. Armbro Parkway in 155 and 2. They're lining up for the second race. Here they come. They're often pacing with Non-Stop John showing early speed. On the outside, it's My Problem moving right with him. Coming through on the inside, Beowulf and Joe Anderson. There are 3 across the track as they race into the first turn. In between horses, Non-Stop John leads 3 parts of a length. Now a length, My Problem going right after him. Beowulf right in behind those 2. A length back to Incredible VO and Anxiety Flu. Then a gap of 2 to Verona Express. Then comes King Al, 2 lengths back to Joel Smith and Silky Flight. Your 2 trailers are Schoolboy and Rick's Table Dancer. Quarter timed in 28 and 2. Race up the backstretch. Here comes Beowulf and Anderson. They're on the attack. And now take command. My Problem will yield. Non-Stop John 3 lengths off the top in third. Anxiety Flu now heads up the second tier as it takes form. Incredible VO saves ground. Verona Express picks up live cover. Half-timed in 57 and 4. The favorite Beowulf leads a tight length. My Problem right there in the pocket. Anxiety Flu being rated by Maxwell. Verona Express poised and ready to strike for Hostetler. On the inside, it's Non-Stop John. King Al is third over to the top of the lane. On the inside, being pushed back, Incredible VO. Silky Flight is out there. They're in the stretch, and it's Beowulf by 2. 3/4, 128 and 2. Beowulf out there now by 3. Anxiety Flu picks up the chase. On the outside, Verona Express racing in third. King Al's moving up in between horses. Non-Stop John inside the 8th pole. It's all Beowulf. Beowulf now getting away from this field in deep stretch. Beowulf, an easy winner for Anderson. Here's Beowulf. 157 and 1, tight for second. King Al over Verona Express. Field of 9 lining up for the American National Stake. Here they come. They're away in pacing in the American National. From the outside, Cannonball Sabra. Quickly out to take command. It's Cannonball Sabra and Dave Miller a length. Leap-Hand Lizards came away in second, a length and a half back to Park Lane Comet, third, a gap of 2 to Johnny Walker Blue, and then a length back to Rod's Deal Party Stop, reserved early on. Right in behind him is Impetu, then comes Village Jove. Your trailer Burn That Bridge off the quarter, 29-1. Look for the pace to pick up as they race up the backstretch. On the inside, Cannonball Sabra. On the outside, Leap-Hand Lizards was quickly up to challenge, now takes back and drops in behind again. Here comes Johnny Walker Blue and Morgan. Park Lane Comet racing in fourth. Rod's Deal is on the move, a length and a half behind him. Party Stop and Andy Miller. A length back to Impetu, 3 back to Village Jove and Burn That Bridge. Johnny Walker Blue forging his way to the top by the half in 57 seconds. Johnny Walker Blue leads. Now pressure from Rod's Deal with 3/8 to go. Cannonball Sabra racing in third. Party Stop is off stride. Party Stop is off stride. They come to the corner. Johnny Walker Blue digs down on the outside. Rod's Deal right in behind those two. Cannonball Sabra and Miller. A quarter of a mile to go in the American National Stake. Johnny Walker Blue on the inside. On the outside, Rod's Deal, 3/4, 125-2. Johnny Walker Blue feeling the pressure. Now strides clear a length. Rod's Deal will have to do more. Far outside, here comes Village Jove and Paul McDonnell. It's Johnny Walker Blue. Village Jove gains ground. Johnny Walker Blue in deep stretch. Village Jove, one final lunge. Johnny Walker Blue wins the American National at 154-4. Village Jove second, and Party Stop may have come on again for third. 154-4. The American National from Sportsman. Fields at the top of the stretch. They're lining up for the fourth race. Here they come. They're off. The speed coming from the two favorites, Aspiration Jug and Gilboy. Those two joined by Come On Johnny. Aspiration Jug to the top, Gilboy. Up on the rim, the challenger. Come On Johnny right there in third as they hit the first turn. A gap of 3.5 to Stand the Man Musial. Then another break of 4 to Town Thunder. Right in behind him, Pied Piper. A length and a half back to Placid Bill. Then comes the mare, Savoir Superb. Your trailer is Evening Wine. Off that quarter, a quick 27-2. Race up the backstretch. Aspiration Jug taking no prisoners. Draws clear by 2 on the outside. Gilboy having a tough time. Parked in second. Come On Johnny right there in third. Gap of 4 to Stand the Man Musial. 3.5 back to Town Thunder. Then comes Pie-Eyed Piper, Placid Bill, Savoir Superb, and Evening Wine. By the half, 55-3. They're still doing battle, and it's a brutal one. Aspiration Jug on the outside. Gilboy. Come On Johnny right there in the pocket. On the inside, Stand the Man Musial, and now Town Thunder. Angles off the cones for Morgan, followed up by Pie-Eyed Piper. Aspiration Jug out there a length and a quarter. Gilboy won't go away. He's still going after the leader. 3/4, 126-1. Aspiration Jug leads. Gilboy going a monster mile. 3/16 to go, and now Gilboy has wore down Aspiration Jug. Town Thunder racing in third. Pied Piper in fourth. Down the stretch, Gilboy leads. Here comes Pied Piper. Town Thunder looking for an out. Gilboy still leads. Pied Piper, Gilboy, an incredible mile to win it. Pied Piper second. Town Thunder at 156-4. Top of the stretch. Here they come. They're off, and not wasting any time as Anxious Willie is going right to the top. Anxious Willie leads the way under the wire for the first time, opens up by 2.5. Alar racing in second. The two favorites sitting 1-2 as they hit the first turn. Then a break of 5 to Canbreeze and Tony Morgan, a length back to Downtown Special, a length and a half back to What a Move. Then comes Alvis and your two trailers, Town Hoss and Willie Buck off the quarter, 28-3. Anxious Willie takes this field up the backstretch, leads by 2. Alar. Right there in second, a length back to Tony Morgan and Canbreeze, a length back to Downtown Special, a length and a half to What a Move. Not much change in position. Alvis racing in sixth. On the inside, Town Hoss. Your trailer is Willie Buck, but he's on the move. They continue up the backstretch. Anxious Willie leads. On the outside, Downtown Special. Now right off his flank, Alar getting the 2-hole trip. Half-timed in 58-4. Anxious Willie leads around the far turn. Downtown Special. The pressure. Alar is right there in third. On the outside, What a Move. Racing in fourth, Canbreeze. Saves ground along the cones. A length and a half back to Town Hoss. Alvis and Willie Buck. They're in the stretch. Anxious Willie maintains command, leads 3 parts of a length. On the outside, Downtown Specials losing ground. Alar is waiting for an out. 3/4, 127 even. Anxious Willie, here comes Alar from the pocket. 1/8 of a mile to go. It's come down to the two favorites. On the inside, Anxious Willie. On the outside, Alar. Anxious Willie digging down for McGee. Alar, Curran getting after him. Anxious Willie and Alar. Anxious Willie and Alar. Anxious Willie holding on to win it. Alar a game second. Town Hoss third at 154-4. Here they come. They're away in pacing and far back after a miscue. Before the start, Our Romantic Walk and winging it from the far outside. Time for Me to Fly. To an uncontested lead, a length ahead of Cassie's Ruler. Jack Clayton racing in third, a length back to Camfleet. In fourth, Stetson racing in fifth. Hampton's Jim Bob in sixth, midway around the turn. Mudge's Chad being rated from off the pace, racing in seventh. In eighth, it's Coy. Your two trailers, Piper Wellmanor, and Our Romantic Walk has caught the field after the slow start. First quarter, a comfortable 29 seconds. Time for Me to Fly leads the way up the backstretch. Here comes Jack Clayton and Joe Anderson. On the inside, Cassie's Ruler, right in behind those two. A length back to Camfleet. On the outside, Hampton's Jim Bob looking for cover. Racing along the inside to him is Stetson. Mudge's Chad is second over into a good flow. Then comes Coy, Piper Wellmanor, and Our Romantic Walk half-timed in 58 seconds. Round the far turn, a little more than 3/8 to go. Jack Clayton leads by only a head. On the outside, here's Cassie's Ruler now with 3/8 to go. Cassie's Ruler on the outside takes the lead. Jack Clayton battling back on the inside. Time for Me to Fly. Racing third, Hampton's Jim Bob. In fourth, approaching 3/4, Cassie's Ruler. Charging to the lead. 3/4, 126-4. Cassie's Ruler. Jack Clayton's finding another life. Here he comes again on the inside. Jack Clayton regains command. Cassie's Ruler racing in second. Camfleet looks for room along the inside. Mudge's Chad is coming on. It's Jack Clayton. Camfleet can't shake loose. Jack Clayton in the final yards has everybody bottled up. He wins it. Close for second and third. Here they come. They're off. Clark Gable, Flying Nuke, Fearless Falcon, and now Honest One, all going after the lead. On the outside, Honest One, the quickest of all, takes command. Clark Gable will yield second, a length back to Flying Nuke in third. Fearless Falcon racing in fourth, a length and a half back to DJ's Dream. And then a break of 3 to Bill the Bartender. And then comes Fantastic Finale in Our Last Chef. Off the opening quarter, 28-1. They race up the backstretch. Your leader is Honest One by 2. Clark Gable racing in second. Flying Nuke with the leaders in third. Fearless Falcon racing in fourth, and now moving off the cones and on the move is DJ's Dream. He'll bring up Bill the Bartender as the second tier takes form. Fantastic Finale's out there for Anderson. And Our Last Chef, they continue on to the half, and from the outside, DJ's Dream to the top by the half, 58-1, 32nd quarter. DJ's Dream, your new leader into the far turn. Honest One right in behind. Clark Gable, only 3 off the top, racing in third. On the inside, Flying Nuke racing in fourth. Fearless Falcon, Bill the Bartender has no pace. On the inside, Fantastic Finale can't shake loose. Our Last Chef is pushed back to last. They're in the stretch. DJ's Dream leads the way. Clark Gable is on the attack. 3 quarters, 128-1. Another 32nd quarter for DJ's Dream. He's out there a length. Clark Gable is bearing down. Honest One racing along the inside. On the outside, moving up, here comes Flying Nuke. Your leader, DJ's Dream. Clark Gable desperately trying to get at him. Flying Nuke is racing third. Here comes Flying Nuke. Here comes Clark Gable. DJ's Dream still there. Clark Gable and DJ's Dream, 2 noses at the wire. Too tight to call at 156. Scratch on the bottom. Fields in the stretch, are picking up speed. Here they come. They're off. Master Miles away quick from the gate. On the inside, Pilgrim's Fiery also left well. With those two, Tribeca. Those 3 horses are 5 lengths ahead of Can Cam, racing in fourth. A length back to Cinder Lane Sam. Then comes Take All, Del Chump and Pink Floyd, Gypsy Falcon and Conundrum. Midway around the turn, they race for the quarter. Now Pilgrim's Fiery quickly up to challenge and take the lead. Master Miles will take a back seat. Quick quarter, 27-2. They race up the backstretch. Pilgrim's Fiery on top, a tight length. Master Miles racing in second, a length and a half back to Tribeca. Then a break of 6 to Can Cam and Homer Hochstetler. Cinder Lane Sam now moving around him. Take All will pick up that live cover. Del Chup and Pink Floyd, the Illinois bred. On the inside, Gypsy Falcon, Conundrum still trails. Pilgrim's Fiery takes them by the half, 57 seconds. Comfortable quarter for Pilgrim's Fiery on top. Master Miles right there in the pocket. Take All now, first over, third for McGee. On the inside, Tribeca saves ground. Pink Floyd following up live cover, second over. Third over to the top of the lane, Conundrum. Cinder Lane Sam is held up along the cones. Can Cam and Gypsy Falcon. They're in the stretch and approaching 3 quarters. It's Pilgrim's Fiery. Your leader, 3 quarters, 126-3. Pilgrim's Fiery showing the way on the outside. Take All is bearing down, and Take All now puts ahead in front. Pilgrim's Fiery is dropping back. Take All with an 1/8 of a mile to go, charging to the lead. It's Take All on the inside. Here comes Master Miles. It's Take All in deep stretch. Master Miles bearing down. Take All holding on. Master Miles close for third at 155 flat. Top of the stretch, field of 9. Taking their positions in behind the starting gate, picking up speed. Here they come. They're off and pacing with Austin Carr in the middle of the track. Going right to the top for Anderson. On the inside, Radio's coming through. Bama Legend is there. Austin Carr leads the way. Here's Bama Legend and Holiday. Radio right in behind those two. Double High racing in fourth. Rebel Lee is fifth. Spend a dollar racing in sixth. A length and a half back to Dean McGee and Isometrics. Then comes Ken's Bunny. Your trailer is Mystic Jate. Off the quarter, a quick 27-4. They roll off the turn. They race up the backstretch. On the outside, Double High pressuring Bama Legend. And now Double High to the top. Bama Legend will take a back seat. Austin Carr right there in third. A length back to Radio and Dave McGee. Spend a dollar is on the move for Morgan. On the outside, Mystic Jate following up live cover. To the inside of him is Rebel Lee, Ken's Bunny, and pushed back to last, Isometrics. Austin Carr has made the top. A quick half, 56-1. Austin Carr around the far turn leads the way. On the outside, Spend a Dollar being rated by Morgan. Double High on the inside, racing third, Mystic Jate, poised and ready to strike for Del Chup. Now the roan Ken's Bunny picks up those three. They're in the lane. It's Austin Carr approaching 3/4 by 2. Now by 2.5. Spend a dollar. The trip's taking its toll. Here comes Mystic Jade and Del Chup. 3/4, 125-2. 3/16 to go. Austin Carr on top. Mystic Jade trying to get at him. On the inside, Spend a Dollar racing third. A late rally on the far outside by Rebel Lee. In deep stretch, Austin Carr leads. Mystic Jade is closing in. Austin Carr holding on for Anderson. Mystic Jade second. Rebel Lee a fast closing third at 154-1. Fields at the top of the stretch. Lining up, and here they come. They're off. Sportsman showing speed on the outside. Some Albert moving right with him. In between horses, it's All in Line. Home Pro Michael on the inside. Some Albert now makes his way to the top, leads a length. Sportsman racing in second. All in Line takes over third from Home Pro Michael. A length and a half back to Awesome Dude racing in fifth. In sixth around the turn, Keep On Truckin' Sam. A length and a half back to Power On. Then comes Morgan Mill and Was Up. Off that quarter, 27-2. They wheel up the backstretch. Some Albert, the favorite, on top a length and a quarter over Sportsman. Then a gap of 3 to All in Line. Another gap of 2 to Home Pro Michael. 2.5 back to Awesome Dude. Keep On Truckin' Sam in behind him. A length and a half back to Power On. Morgan Mill and Was Up. No change up top. It's been all Some Albert. He's out there a length. Half timed in 56-4. Some Albert leads. Sportsman right there in the pocket. All in Line. Now angles out for McGee. He's on the attack. Keep On Truckin' Sam picks up that live cover. Home Pro Michael to the inside of those two. On the outside, it's Awesome Dude. Power On, Was Up, and Morgan Mill. They're in the stretch. Some Albert looking to go all the way. By 3/4, 125-1. Some Albert on top by 2. Sportsman on the inside has to do more. All in Line. Racing on the outside third. Now second. Home Pro Michael is out for the drive. Some Albert leads deep in the lane. It's Some Albert. All in Line doing all he can, but it's not enough. Some Albert. An impressive start to finish winner for Hostetler. All in Line second. Home Pro Michael at 153-1. They're off in the Bye-Bye Bird, and lagging behind is Little Elbow, Oliver G. Slim. In the middle of the track, quickly out to get the lead. It's Oliver G. Slim in a familiar place. He's out there by 2 over Hart's Tiger. A length back to Big Time Lucky and Joe Anderson. And then a gap of 3 to Ron Santo. A length and a half back to Gotta Make a Buck. In behind him, Fox Valley Colleen, Lake Kills Doc Devilgram. Then comes Dean McGee and Masterline, Colikatranis, and just now Little Albo catching the field. Off the quarter, 29 seconds. They race up the backstretch. Oliver G. Slim leads the way. Will now immediately feel pressure from Anderson and Big Time Lucky. Here he comes. Hearts Tiger right there in behind those two. Now Big Time Lucky clears to lead. Oliver G. Slim will yield. A length back to Hearts Tiger, then a gap of 5 to Ron Santo. Another gap of 6. Gotta make a buck. Racing along the inside, Fox Valley Colleen is on the move. Lake Kills Doc, Devilgram, Masterline, Colikatranis, and Little Albo by the half, 57-3. Your leader on the far turn is Big Time Lucky with 3/8 to go. Big Time Lucky out there by 2, now by 3. Oliver G. Slim trying to hang with him. Here comes Hearts Tiger on the outside. Moving up, Fox Valley Colleen. They're in the stretch in the Bye-Bye Bird. And Big Time Lucky trying to get away from this field. 3/4, 126-3. It's Big Time Lucky in mid-stretch. Now by 2. Here comes Hearts Tiger. Here comes Fox Valley Colleen. Oliver G. Slim hasn't given up. Big Time Lucky leads. Oliver G. Slim is coming back. On the outside, it's Hearts Tiger. A 1/16 of a mile ago. It's Big Time Lucky. And now Big Time Lucky is clear to win the Bye-Bye Bird in 1:55. Oliver G. Slim, a game second, close for third. 1:55 flat, the time for the winning mile. 4, 5, 6, 7, 2. Here they come. They're off far outside. Best of the class left hard. In the middle of the track, American Bandstand. Also coming away along the rail, Lake Hills Carl. Best of the class. Going right to the top for Brett Miller. American Bandstand will settle in second, a length ahead of Lake Hills Carl. Willie B. Rich racing in fourth. Royals Ideal in fifth, a length and a half back to Broadway Mystery and Super Tannic, the two co-favorites. Then comes Dan Knox and HP Campion, a gap of 3 to Fox Valley Snake, and Try Again. Off the quarter, 28 seconds. The long shot, best of the class, sits on top by 2 at 30-1. American Bandstand traveling second, a length back to Lake Hills Carl. In third, Willie B. Rich is off the cones and on the move, bringing up Royals Ideal. Broadway Mystery into the outer flow, along with Super Tannic. On the inside, Fox Valley Snake will take an inside route. HP Campion and Try Again both stacked up at the end. Half-timed in 57-2. Best of the class still leads around the far turn. On the outside, Willie B. Rich, the challenger. American Bandstand getting the 2-hole trip. Royals Ideal, well placed for Heitman. On the inside, Lake Hills Carl. Broadway Mystery and Super Tannic, those two still about 8 to make up as they turn for home. They're in the stretch. It's the long shot, best of the class. He's still out there at tight length. 3/4, 127-1. Best of the class has had the best of this, still does, leads a length. On the outside, here comes Royals Ideal, and now unwinding, here comes Broadway Mystery and Super Tannic. Far outside, HP Campion has them all lined up. Your leader is Broadway Mystery. Here comes HP Campion on the far outside. Broadway Mystery digging down. HP Campion trying to get at him. Broadway Mystery out in front. HP Campion, a fast closing Try Again up for third.